Hello, welcome back for another episode of HunterTuned. Today, I don't know what the hell we're doing, but yeah, I don't know. I just fired up this hatch that I'm working on, and man, this thing chooches like a son of a gun. It burns oil like no tomorrow. Look at all that smoke. Now the customer actually told me that he's like, dude, you should just blow that D15 up for me. And I don't know, because it's pretty clapped out, as you see, but it runs smooth. It just burns a lot of oil. That's like typical D15B. They all freaking burn a shitload of oil. But anyways, I might be running to the junkyard because I want to get a cluster for this car that actually has a tach in it, because this one is just like the factory cluster and it has no tachometer. So might run to the junkyard and grab that. I also need to get a ECU for this car because I know there is a P28 actually at the junkyard, so I might go grab that as well. I kind of want to see what's in here first and see if it's like a P28 already, but I highly doubt it. It's probably a P06 or a P05. Yeah, it's a P06, which P06s are good too, and you can actually VTEC convert the P06 to be a P28. I offer VTEC conversions as well as ECU chipping for these ECUs, but it's easier just to start with a P28, and you know, I have a few P06s already. But yeah, so I might do that. Look at this Ford Blue Honda motor. Ford Blue, America. Mint, mint. Ford Blue Honda. Now, I think I actually found a D16 Z6 motor for this thing. It's a stock long block, but it has ARP head studs already, which normally you can reuse. At least in my experience, I've reused them a bunch and they seem to always work, unless if you lifted your head previously, they usually are still good. So I might be picking that motor up for this thing so we can build it. I also did talk with On3 Performance this morning and P2P Industries or something like that. They sell like the Viterra pistons, and they sell like the pistons I ran in my CRX, those cast, I don't even know what they are, cast high compression pistons or whatever. I talked to those guys this morning, and I'm hoping that we can kind of work out like some sort of sponsorship, or you know, get a dealer license with them or something, so I can get some discounts on these parts, because it would definitely help me out and allow me to do more stuff for you guys and put more videos out and stuff like that. Also, I can kind of review the products and see if, you know, they're going to be good for your application or my application or whatever, so you guys don't have to do the research and I can do it for you. Now, I tried talking to like Skunk 2 and Function Inform and stuff like that when I went to go buy suspension for my EK hatch, and they kind of all seem to not get back to me or anything. I feel like those companies are a little bit higher end, and maybe I can't really get a deal with them guys yet because I'm not big enough on YouTube. But I would love to start working with some companies and, you know, getting some discounted parts and whatnot, so I can, you know, like I said, do more projects and do more parts reviews and all that kind of stuff for you guys. Oh, get it. Drop it. Drop it. Drop. Max. Now, I also want to go pick up a radiator cap for my Mustang, because I think all last year I was having cooling issues and the car would actually run hot, and I think I've had a bad radiator cap this whole frickin' time. So I think I want to pick up a radiator cap for that, if not a whole different radiator, and maybe hopefully solve the cooling issues I've been having with my Mustang. Funny, A21 Bravo actually just posted a video on doing he had some coolant issues with the new car he just picked up, and kind of the same thing where if the car runs low on coolant, or if you have a bunch of air pockets in the system, it's going to overheat. And usually when you overheat the engine, you could risk, you know, ruining the head gasket. Same thing with Adam LZ. He had some issues with his SR20, and, you know, same kind of thing. Air pockets, you know, can cause the head gasket to fail, or, you know, head to warp, or anything like that. I also want to place a huge shout out to Honda Street Garage. He actually included me in a little shout out that he did on one of his recent videos titled Failure. He kind of just was venting and talking about some life stuff, and, you know, just some hardships and stuff with building these cars and whatnot. And I mean, I 100% can relate to all that. It feels like all of us horsepower guys and all of us like-minded people that like building these cars, and we like going fast and, you know, doing cool shit. It seems, you know, like we all have the same kind of problems and whatnot mentally and physically and stuff like that. It's a bitch trying to make it out here on YouTube, but you know, we're all trying our best and seeing where it goes, I suppose. It's funny, even like Alberto Big Boost, that, you know, works with Adam LZ all the time. Adam actually said in one of the last videos that Alberto can't drink coffee because he gets anxiety when he drinks coffee or caffeine. And it's funny because I've been caffeine free for like 8 years or so, for a really long time. And honestly, guys, I love coffee. I love drinking coffee. I love, you know, soda, etc. I just can't drink it because as soon as I drink it a few hours later, I just get like, my anxiety increases and I get more worked up over shit. So I feel like if you guys have anxiety issues and you drink a lot of caffeine, I would recommend to maybe cut back on the caffeine consumption, because like I said, it definitely is a huge contributor to anxiety. And, you know, obviously I kind of suffer from it quite a bit myself. But yeah, I don't know. I actually had a doctor's appointment yesterday for my anxiety, and had to talk to the doctor a little bit, and she told me that I should be upping my dose a little bit. I've been taking like 5 milligrams in the morning and then 5 milligrams at night for a while, and, you know, sometimes I'll take another 5 milligrams in the middle of the day. And she said to maybe up it to one pill, or like 10 milligrams in the morning and 10 milligrams at night. And I've been doing it for like a few days now, and I've noticed that like I'm overly happy, which isn't a bad thing, obviously. I just feel like, I don't know, the pills are still kind of scaring me a little bit, but I feel like they are working a little bit. I can't lie. I just hope that, you know, it continues and doesn't get any worse. But yeah, anyways, I figured I'd give you guys a little update on that stuff. I know a lot of people were interested in my little rant video I did. I had a lot of good feedback from that, so yeah. Just out here trying to live dreams. Keep living your dreams, like Honda Street Garage says. Well, here I am, trucking through the snow. And we have a Del Sol. Look at that. Well, looks like we can't get in that door. Look at that. P28, baby. Well, I suppose I probably should have checked the year of this car before I bothered even pulling the ECU out, because this is an OBD2 P28, which is no good. Alright, so that last junkyard that we went to did not have nothing. They didn't have any EGs, and they didn't have any frickin' ECUs either. So I'm at another junkyard, and I found another EG, and this one actually has a gauge cluster with a tach. So that's awesome. I found a automatic one with a tach, and then this one is a manual with a tach, but this one's got 397,000 miles. Crazy. But hopefully the cluster still is good and I can fit through here and get the door open, because this is really tight. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, this will be fun. Alright guys, I'm going to swap this gauge cluster out now on this EG hatch. And to do this job, you pretty much just need a Phillips head screwdriver. And there's 2 screws right above here that you need to take out. And then there's also a screw under the hazard switch here that you just need to take this out. And then there's a screw under it. And then you got to be careful, especially when it's cold out like this. You want to just pop it up and make sure you don't crack the plastic here, because it's very easy to crack these, and they're kind of hard to find that are not cracked. So I'm going to swap this gauge cluster out so this car actually has a working tachometer. Alright guys, now that the little dash piece here is out, you can see where the screws actually went. Like I said, the two right here, and then there's one behind the flasher relay that goes right here. And then you have 4 screws that hook in the gauge cluster around the perimeter here. So we'll just zip those out quick. Voila! Now we can pull the gauge cluster out. Kind of tricky with one hand. Just like so, and then we have a few electrical connectors that plug in the back. Out with the old. And in with the 400,000 mile cluster, but it has a tach. Alright, another thing I like to do on these gauge clusters is I actually like to take some of the bulbs. A lot of these like brown bulbs right here have these blue covers on them from the factory. I think it's to like dim down the cluster so it's not so bright. But after time, you know, a lot of them burn out and stuff. So what I like to do is just take bulbs out of the old cluster and I replace all the brown ones with black ones. So like take, you know, where a brown one normally would be, I would swap it with a black out of the old cluster and etc. And now when I turn the headlights on, the cluster is very nice and bright. It looks awesome. Everything looks mint. I'm going to get to reassembling this, and then we will see if everything works. Everything seems to be working minty fresh. Mint, mint, mint. Oh yeah, she's got all the power in the world, boys. I should show you guys how much this thing chooches. It chooches like a freight train. Like a locomotive. And I'm gonna stick the camera out the window quick so you guys can see how much that thing frickin' smokes. Hopefully the wind noise isn't too bad, but I'm sure you'll get over it. Here we go. We're gonna do a second gear clutch dump. Oh yeah, fucking mint. Before everybody yells at me and says, quit beating on that car, blah, blah, blah. This motor's worth like $5, and the customer and me kind of made an agreement, like, hey dude, just go drive the car, make sure everything else is good and whatnot. So I'm out here just driving it around, and he's like, dude, blow the motor up. I don't even care, it'd be funny. So I'm just playing around with it. And he kind of just wants me to do what I would do to my car. So this is what I would do before I swap the motor. But this thing is slow as balls. We're on concrete now, so she'll hook. Oh yeah, second gear pull. Juice in first gear once and see if she is any better. Alright, we're gonna do a first gear roll from 20. Woohoo, 50! This thing can't even break the speed limit. Guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. It probably wasn't the most entertaining thing in the world, but oh well. I actually have the EK hatch pulled in the garage now, and we are going to be doing some work to this thing tomorrow. I got some parts in the mail today, and the rest of them are going to be here tomorrow. So yeah, we're going to be doing some eBay suspension parts on this thing. So hopefully that'll be fun and entertaining, and hopefully you guys will learn something along with me. I'm still going to be waiting on some parts for the EG hatch. I got to get the motor yet, and then have to order some internals for it and stuff like that, so I'm not really going to be working on that much until we get the parts and everything needed for that build. But yeah, I don't know. If you guys enjoy the video, hit the like button and subscribe, and we will see you tomorrow.